Perfect. 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 Today we are joined for something a little bit different here. Not a formal video, nothing scripted out, nothing like that. Just really off the top of the head, I want to come and give my final overall thoughts, what frustrates me, and all that good stuff about Ben Simmons, about this team, about his journey, you know, and what we've seen over the past couple years. I feel like I didn't get a chance to do this formally because Game 7 ended. It ended abruptly. The season was over like that. And immediately we got news. Ben Simmons is going to work on his game. The Sixers have a plan to fix his jump shot. Then Ben Simmons' agent is out meeting with Daryl Morey. Then Ben Simmons is not going to participate in the Olympics. And he's going to work on his game. And will he be back? Will he not? All the fans going at each other's neck. All that stuff. Whether this is a therapy session, whether it's just getting my frustrations out and making me feel better, I don't know. We're just going to see how it goes. And we'll still be doing, you know, trade package videos and stuff like that. Ben Simmons is still a member of this team, of course. But this will be the final time I really talk about this in depth. And I just feel like I have to get this out. And I truly believe Ben Simmons will be traded, will not be on this roster next year. We'll get into why. But if this is the final big rant, well, it is what it is. So today we are joined for the Philadelphia 76ers and the story of what could have been. Enjoy. So Ben Simmons has been my favorite player the last 4 years. Ever since he came in, when he got drafted in 2016, you know, and then we drafted Markelle Fultz. We were supposed to be this big dynasty, you know, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, one of the most, you know, elite young trios in the league. Obviously, we know how Fultz played out. In that case, Markelle Fultz forgot how to shoot or just couldn't anymore a month before the season after being the number one overall pick. Ben Simmons was the number one overall pick, could do everything well, and he became my favorite player. He became, you know, an early young star in this city, and everybody backed him up. He always had that mentality. He was quiet. He stayed, you know, 10 toes down. He was hungry. He was ready to go, and he could do everything well except one thing. And for years and years, people like myself defended him. We went out here and said he's a jump shot away from being that man right there, LeBron James. He literally has the physical attributes. He's a 6'10" physical specimen that we may not have seen more than once in NBA history in Magic Johnson. And Ben Simmons' court vision, the fact that he can push the pace, the fact that he can move that fast as pretty much a big man with point guard skills and go downhill and transition, it's just never before seen. This man has the physical attributes to be great. His rookie year, he comes and wins Rookie of the Year. That was a whole spiel, and we're backing up Ben Simmons. He's breaking records. He's a 3-time All-Star. This guy has improved to be one of the best defensive players in the league. All that good stuff. And all he had to do was work on one thing. His rookie year, you know, he's balling out. Brad Stevens finds a way to put a stop to it. The Sixers lose in the second round to the Boston Celtics. The next year we go up against Toronto. We lose in the second again. Ben Simmons essentially taken out once again in the playoff series. The whole, you know, thing with Jimmy Butler leaving and Brett Brown and the whole, you know, mix in the locker room and in the front office. And we still stuck with Ben. I stuck with Ben. I said, you know, we need a new coach. We need someone to come in and hold him accountable, and we need someone to get that out of him. And we go into another year, a very weird year, cut short. We go to the bubble. He gets hurt, so we don't get to see it in action again. And then we come into this year, and Ben Simmons, again, we for years, we say this man has to work on one thing to be great. He can literally be great. Everybody buying his merchandise, supporting this guy left and right, saying that Ben Simmons, we want the next big duo to come out of Philly. We want the next LeBron in Philadelphia. That was supposed to be Ben Simmons. But it turns out this year, things went south. And it was masked a lot by the fact that Doc Rivers came in, built a system around Joel Embiid, and Joel just took an absolute leap this year MVP level style ball, and he was just unreal. And meanwhile, especially when Joel Embiid was out of games due to injury or whatever else, we saw a lot of the deficiencies, but people like myself looked past it and we thought that Joel's individual greatness could at least take us where we need to go. And we get to the playoffs. We're going to skip over a lot of things because we can't talk about it all. But Ben Simmons, on the verge of being traded, he steps up, plays well before the All-Star break. The rest of the season, it's up and down. We get to the playoffs. First round, he does all right. He gives us, 15 a game. He's doing his thing. Still a couple games where we're like, what are you doing out there, Ben? You look lost. Obviously, the whole thing happened with his family this year. And first and foremost, I pray that whatever is going on in Ben's personal life, I don't know. But I hope he gets the help and I hope he's okay. And some of those things are not fair. But what we see on the basketball court, we see the intangibles. We see what this guy can do. He comes out in the second round, and this has been the threshold point, and the Sixers have to get past this, right? The easiest path ever to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And Joel Embiid playing, on a torn meniscus, putting it all on the line, long-term injury, long-term health, muscling through, giving us 35, 37, 40 on a torn meniscus. And Ben Simmons comes out and crawls up into a shell, crawls up into a ball, forgets how to play, essentially. First and foremost, he can't hit free throws. He shoots 30-something% from the line in the series. The worst in NBA history. This man shot like 65 to 70% earlier this year. What happened? Then in the two biggest games, Game 5, Game 7, in front of the home fans, in front of the Philadelphia fans that defended this man for so long, he comes out and absolutely stinks up the joint. 4 shot attempts. No aggression, no assertiveness, and this is exactly what we saw this year that led to the demise of Ben Simmons in Philadelphia. It's unbelievable. Ben Simmons, I have never had a problem with a player like I do Ben Simmons, because Ben could have came out and he could have went 0 for 10 in every single game in the Sixers-Hawks series. Would we have been screaming trade Ben Simmons? Probably, because that's, we're Philadelphia and we don't settle for that. And I know stars are supposed to hit a certain age, right, and they mature, but Ben Simmons went the opposite direction. He literally did not give effort. If a guy tries and fails, I am okay with that. It hurts, but I'll get over that. But to literally watch your right-hand man, like when we talked about this duo, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, we literally talked about a duo that could take over the NBA one day. Joel Embiid took an insurmountable leap. Ben Simmons became a role player this year. And it's just frustrating. And you're watching that man, Joel Embiid, go out there. You're watching Seth Curry become the second option of this offense. And you just have no interest. You keep that same mug on your face. And throughout this entire year, you're saying things like, keep that same energy. After Game 7, you have the balls to come out and say, well, I am who I am. It is what it is. Really? I mean, that's just not Philadelphia. That's not who we represent. Ben Simmons, as I've stated before, has gone from my favorite athlete to my least favorite because of the effort factor. He could have came out and tried, but 4 shot attempts and passing up the biggest layup when you're wide open, dishing it off to Matisse. Like, at this point, we know, right? Ben needs a sports psychologist. And just the demise of this man's career has just been insane. He needs a sports psychologist in year 5. This guy's supposed to be a transcendent superstar by now. And he's not. And I don't think he ever will be. And it sucks. And it's time for him to go. I think it'll be the best thing for his career. I think maybe he can start fresh in a new city, build up some confidence. Maybe he'll be a good player one day, but I don't think he'll ever be great. And that's what pains me the most, because he's supposed to. He has everything needed to be great. He just doesn't have it in his DNA. He doesn't have that dog. He doesn't have that will, that fight. Even when he did that interview last year, he doesn't want to not be perfect. He wants to be perfect all the time. Let me talk for 1 second now about the fans that continue to defend Ben Simmons, that still want him on this team. I have a couple main things to say. I'm not going to go on forever. Number one, Ben Simmons was put in the toughest situation in terms of the amount of pressure around him, right? You got a whole city breathing down your neck. You're at the spot that you have not been able to climb over for years now since the process started. And by the way, the process has failed essentially. You are at that point once again. This time you're the favorite. You're supposed to win that series. All the pressure in the world, right? All you have to come out and do is give us 10 points. Give us 8 shot attempts. And what do? Nothing. You're getting benched in the fourth quarter. You can't hit a free throw. You have the yips. You won't take a jump shot 5 years into a career. If Ben Simmons wasn't able to at least come out and try in that given moment, what makes you think anything is going to change? Is it just going to click instantly? Is it just going to switch that way? Ben Simmons literally had the moment where he could have stepped up and made a difference, and he didn't do it. So for the people that want to bring him back next year, oh, Ben will change, he'll get better. No, he won't. And he's baited us for years. He's a troll in certain ways. He'll post things on Instagram. He'll post them on YouTube. He'll post jump shot videos. But what has it been made for? Nothing. It hasn't happened in the game. And he's out there every game practicing from 3 and the free throw line. But it's a different story when the bright lights are on and you're out there and you're asked to perform. I don't think he has it. I don't know if his heart is in basketball. It's a shame. He grew up bigger than everyone, stronger, faster. I mean, he could just dominate because he's that naturally talented. But I don't know if he wants it that bad. I don't know if he wants it. Another thing people are saying is, oh, well, Ben Simmons' trade value is at the lowest it's ever been. Why trade him now? You know, you're being idiotic. You're thinking, too much with your heart. If we bring back Ben Simmons next year, what makes you think it's going to change? Even if it does change, let's just say he starts shooting jump shots. He starts doing this and that. I'm telling you, man, is that team ready to win a championship? Or would you rather go out and get a player that we know is going to be the Robin to Joel's Batman, who's going to come in, absolutely dominate, hit his jump shots, put up 30 on any given night, be what Ben Simmons was supposed to be, and create that duo that we've been waiting for? Is there really more time to waste? Joel Embiid's last year could be any of these years because of how much he gets injured. Do we want to waste that time? Do we want to sit around and be complacent with a tough East coming next year and be that delusional to think we are going to improve if Ben Simmons starts to shoot jump shots? Who said it's going to be perfect? I personally believe the man has a jump shot. He just can't do it in the game, or he won't. I've seen it when we're down in overtime and the game is over. He'll let one fly from 40 against the Cavs. It'll go in. Beautiful. He'll shoot one from the corner when posted up there. He'll shoot a little mid-range against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are losing games by 60 points. But he won't do it when it matters. And that's the thing that kills me. It takes guys a year, really, to get going and practice their jump shot. They'll even try it, maybe when a game is over where it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to. And for the people, another thing. Oh, well, he's going to come back shooting right-handed. I don't care what he's shooting with. It's not in here or in here. You have to want it. He is okay because he is so good at everything else that he's okay with being a player, like Danny Green said in his podcast, that can just focus on what he does well, and that's it. Nothing else. He's that good to be a sustainable role player, but he doesn't have that grit to be great. And that's just where it's at. So would you rather go out, use his dollars more valuable, and go get some better role players, get a star in some role players that better fit around Joel Embiid? I think it's time. And for the people that want to say, why are you so hard on Ben Simmons? Why don't you recognize what he does great and just forget about what he can't do great? You know why? Because he was a number 1 overall pick. He was given a max contract early. He was asked to become this superstar. That is our expectation. That's like taking one of the greatest players in a sport and saying, oh, well, they do everything else great, they'll be a good role player. No, you need 2 stars to win in this league. And the truth of the matter is that we have 1. We don't have 2. Ben Simmons never became that. Even though I tried to hold on as long as I could and believe that he would, work on the one thing he has to do and at least try it in the game, he hasn't. He is not. He will not. And it's not going to happen. And it sucks. Because I do believe if he lived up to that potential, and I do believe if everybody else held him accountable, even Doc Rivers, and not just settled for him being a good role player and doing what he does well. No. It was always about Ben and Joel. It's not Joel's team and Ben's the sidekick that scores 8 points a game. No, that's not what it is. That's why we're hard on Ben, because we see his potential. We just don't see the heart. And the last thing I'll say is, it's time to go out and maximize what we can. It's time to go out and win a championship and utilize one of the best big men of the modern day in Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons has to go, even if he comes back next year. It's just, we've hit the point. We've hit the breaking point. And the last thing I'll end it with is, if you are a Sixers fan and you are complacent, if you are okay with this man coming back to this roster after literally in the biggest moments of the process era, not giving any effort and watching us go out like that, you have no pride. I respect everybody's opinion. Maybe you think Ben would be a good fit on the team next year. That's fine. But to say that he deserves to come back and get a second chance because, we're being too harsh, come on, man. He should apologize to us. Doc Rivers should apologize to us, saying that we don't know basketball. When we see every night, this guy doesn't have the effort. He doesn't put it all out there on the line. And if you're okay with how we choked that series, and it wasn't just Ben's fault, it was a team loss, but Ben and Doc were the main culprits. And if you're okay with Ben Simmons literally going out there and laying an egg for an entire series and being one of the main causes of why we lost, and not even like he went out swinging like it's Tobias Harris. Tobias played bad, but he went out swinging. He tried. Ben Simmons gave no effort when he's looked at in the spotlight to be one of the stars of this team. If you're okay with that man coming back and playing in Philadelphia, I just don't have any respect for that. It's sad. It really is. Because I always, and I still wanted Ben to live up to that potential, but I've just hit my point, and this is where we separate ways. It's not going to happen. It's the truth, reality. It sucks. But Ben Simmons' points this year, the lowest of his career, 14 points. Rebounds, lowest of his career. Assists, lowest of his career. Blocks, lowest of his career. Steals, down from last year significantly. Shot attempts per game, lowest of his career. You can try to look past it and say he played well and he fit into the system. No, he had his worst year of his career in year 4. He regressed significantly when he's supposed to take a leap to become an all-world superstar. And maybe he'll do that somewhere else. Maybe he'll go on and do his thing. It would be a Philadelphia thing for him to go somewhere else and start averaging 38 a game. But, these are my final thoughts, and I wanted to do this formally. I wanted to put it out there. I'm done with Ben Simmons. It sucks what it came to, but throughout the years, what held us back was his offensive lack of skill. And, things could have been different. There was such an opportunity this year to capitalize on, and we blew it again. And I just don't see a way that this man comes back. Good luck to him wherever he goes for the rest of his career. And if he does find a way to come back to this team, I really don't know if I can watch that product. Because, again, I am perfectly fine with trying and failing. But what I'm not okay with is going down without a fight. And that's just where my thoughts are at. That's where my head's at. It's time for him to move on. It's time to go get a superstar guard to pair with Joel, and it's time to go win a damn championship. It's unfortunate how it came about to be, but the demise of Ben Simmons, and for this Sixers team, what could have been, will go down as one of the most disappointing failures in Sixers history. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts down below. Appreciate you for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Perfect.